Okay, so last time I was here, I just did a whole bunch of this before like getting to the point, and I'm not gonna do that this time. Okay, so it is the end of week 2. It is Sunday. I'm in my car. I have my iPad. Um, we're just gonna get into it. Okay. So week 2 was about recovering a sense of identity. This week addresses self-definition as a major component of creative recovery. You may find yourself drawing new boundaries and staking out new territories as your personal needs, desires, and interests announce themselves. The essays and tools are aimed at moving you into your personal identity, a self-defined you. This week was a lot. There was a retrograde, a full moon. Yeah. None of that was cute. I was so sensitive. I was irritable. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to continue. I was all over the place. I felt like my mind was in a mixing bowl. There was just so much going on, and it was a lot. Is someone here? Oh. Okay, someone is here. But anyways, it was a lot. And all that I can say is I'm glad this week is over. I am so happy this week is over. But basically, this week we touched on a little bit about like friends who might see that you are setting these new boundaries for yourself, or family members who are seeing that you are setting these new boundaries for yourself, and they are trying to put you back in the place that you were, keeping you blocked, as Julia calls it. Personally, I don't have friends. I have isolated myself so much, and I realized just how lonely I am this week. Because for one of the assignments, one of the tasks was we had to draw like a pie and label each pie. So one was like romantic relationships, work, family, spirituality, that kind of thing. And when it got to friends, and you were supposed to like put a dot and then like connect the dots. And the closer the dot is to the middle of the pie, the less of that you have, or essentially the less of that you have. And I have no friends. I fully realized that this week. Like, my phone empty. I don't talk to people. I post my shit, and if I see something from a mutual, I will comment on it online. But like, I don't really have friends, and I was so lonely this week. I don't know what it was, but I called my mom. Mind you, I don't talk to my mother like that. Like, I live with my mother, right? I live at home. And she's away on business right now. But like, I'm not the type of person who just will pick up the phone and call my mother. I don't do that. But I did that at least 3 times this week. And it wasn't just like to ask her for something. It was genuine just because I was like, I want to have a conversation. Like, I miss you. And that was very strange for me, because I don't miss my mother. I have a very complicated relationship. I don't want to get into it, but like, I don't do that. But I did it this week. And I was just like, is this me setting new boundaries? And something that I kept writing in my morning pages was just like, I want friends. I want connection with people. I want to go out and meet people. I want to meet, like, it was a constant thing. And like, I went on my artist date, and for my artist date this week, I went to the library, and I did a little bit of journaling and like a little bit of work, but I was just like basking in the energy of the library. Like, I love to read. Like, if you know me, not that many people do, because like I said, I'm lonely, but if you know me, you will know that I'm an avid reader. If it's fiction, I'm getting into nonfiction, but like, I give me all of the books, babe. And the library was such a safe space for me growing up, especially in primary school. Like, I was in that bitch. I remember I would like win certificates at school for like most read books in a year because like I was in the library so much. Like the librarians, they knew me. They were always just like, oh yeah, Fatu's here picking up a new book. Mind you, I would be like every day, bro, and I forgot just how much of like a safe space the library is for me. So I went to my local library and I was so happy. I also ended up like buying a bunch of snacks, and I found sherbet, and I was just like, this made me like, it made me so insanely happy to buy a pack of sherbet. I bought 3. But I was just so happy because I was just like, oh my gosh, sherbet. And it took me back to a time in my childhood because I love sherbet. I love it so much. And I thought it was discontinued. Went to my local spaza shop. It was there. And I said, oh, this is why I will always be a fan of a spaza shop. Y'all bitches have everything. Like, that made me so happy. And then I got home and I was just like, bitch, you are so lonely. Like, you are so lonely. But another thing was also like a big focus of this week was like setting boundaries, and a boundary with myself is because another thing that I was like, I need money. I want to do this music thing. I am unemployed. Okay. I don't have a sustainable stream of income coming in every single month where I know this is the exact amount. It changes. Okay. It changes because I can say that now I am lucky enough where I'm the type of person who, gets money from my family. Like, they will give me money. I am lucky enough to be that type of person. I don't have to like go out and get a job. But I was just like, I cannot keep depending on my parents. And since last week, that's been a reoccurring thing. Okay? I was just like, girl, time is ticking, and you have a vision for yourself. There's things that you want to do. It's not going to happen if you keep on depending on your parents, because they're also living their lives. They also like, doing things. You can't just be like, oh, just call mommy. Oh, just call dad. Like, I'm lucky enough and I'm privileged enough to be someone who can do that, but it's not enough for me. And I'm also a super independent person. So having to ask my parents for money, well, not even my parents, just my mom. That nigga, he ain't gonna give me a cent. He won't do that. But yeah, so I was just like, we're looking for a job. It is like, I finally decided over the weekend. I was supposed to do it on Friday when I went out on an artist date, but I was just like, it was hot. I walked to and from because I was just like, I want to be out in nature. This heat killed me. And I was supposed to go to like, we have like a local mall. I was gonna go there and like just walk in and be like, hey, I need a job. Y'all hiring? And if y'all bitches say no, well, you're gonna have to tell me to my face. Like, I don't even care. And I was on the phone with my mom and she was just like, oh no, you do music and stuff, so you need to find a job in music and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, no. And mind you, because of my people pleasing tendencies, especially as the firstborn daughter, in an immigrant household, if setting those boundaries and being like, I'm not doing that was crazy. But the way that I was so firm on that phone call, I was just like, no, I'm going out. I don't, even if they want, like, I would hate to, but even if it's just to clean fucking toilets, bitch, I will be doing that shit because I need the money. It's not gonna fall from the sky. Okay, I need to go out. I need to get that job that is going to be consistently paying me. This modeling thing, she's been cute, babes. She's been real cute, but she has not been consistent. Okay, and as much as I love modeling, it's not the first thing that I want to do. Music is. And if I want to fund my music career and fully go in independently and release this EP in the time frame in the way that I envision it, we gotta get the ball rolling, and something's got to give. Okay? And I set those boundaries. Like, I didn't realize just how firm I was being in my thing, because I'm always just like, okay, well, we can just, okay, I'll move it. No, I was just like, this is the plan, this is what we're doing. If you're upset, you're like, and that was really, really crazy. And was rereading, because like at the on Saturdays, like, because I do this thing Sunday to Sunday, so on the Saturdays I like to just reread everything, reread what what the week was about. And when I got to the point about like setting boundaries and stuff, I was like, oh, wow, that was because I don't do that. Okay, I don't do that. Like, people think I'm stubborn, especially because I'm an Aries, but we don't do that. I am such a people pleaser. It is actually ridiculous. But also, excuse me, also made me realize just how much I'm hating this house. Like, the more and more I'm starting to be outside, I'm realizing how much I hate this house. I can't be bothered to spend another year trapped in my bedroom. I can't be bothered, babes. Where I leave the house maybe once a month. Oh, it's not happening. It is not happening this year. I refuse. And I'm so firm in that. Like, I refuse. Like, I'm making this shit happen this year. And I'm now that the week's over, I don't know. I have this like anger bubbling. And I know kind of what's coming next week. Julia was like, one of the prompts that I briefly read through was something about like, you're gonna feel a lot of anger, you're gonna feel happiness, you're gonna feel grief, all of this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm feeling that towards the end of the week. Is it gonna be worse next week? Who the fuck knows? Something that we also talked about was, what was it called? Crazy makers, who are essentially like, you know, like, you blame things, or like you blame your creative blocks or things that go wrong in your life on other things, on other people. And sometimes these people they're so loud and rambunctious that they drag you down, you know what I mean? And you get pulled in and sucked in, because they tend to also be charismatic. Like Julia says that in the little chapter. She's like, these people tend to be charismatic, but the reason why you continue to pull yourself back in is because you yourself are a crazy maker. And while I was reading that, I was like, oh shit, 100%. Because what do? I've been planning this EP and releasing music for 3 going on 4 years now. And every time, because I'm like, to some degree, I'm very type A in the terms of like, when I plan something, I'm like, okay, if the date said April 3rd, it has to happen by April 3rd. Fuck all other things. If I said April 3rd, bitch, it has to happen by April 3rd. And if it's not, well then fuck the whole plan. I'm no longer doing this. I'm dropping the whole thing. Okay? It doesn't matter how much time I invested. If it doesn't happen in the way that I envision it, I have to drop the whole thing. And that kept happening. Every single time I would plan out this EP, it kept being delayed and being delayed and being delayed. Like, no one knows how long I have been working on this EP. No one. Okay? No one. Well, like, people very, very close to me, but they don't. Anyways. And I was just like, it's happening this year. You know? And also, when it wasn't happening, I would find a new person to blame. Oh, well, mom said she was supposed to give me money. She didn't. Oh, well, my dad suddenly decided to come back to the country. Now all of our money is going to it. Oh, well, you know, I can't because I have a modeling thing. I can't because X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, all of these outside variables, instead of just sitting with myself and being like, the reason why this isn't happening is because of you. You know? Oh, it's a spiritual attack. No, babe. It's because of you. Sometimes, Fatu, you're just lazy. And you have to come to terms with that. Like, there are bitches out there less talented than you, more broke than you, with less resources, and they're doing it. So what the fuck is your excuse? You know what I mean? So reading that, like, oh no, the reason why sometimes it's not all of these outside variables, it's just you. That, because taking accountability like that is scary. It's scary, it's crazy, and it's just like, well, why sometimes it really is just you. This week was a lot. mentally, I feel like you can even tell. I feel like at the end of last week, I was so drained. I was drained. Look at me. You were drained last week. Okay? There was a lot. It took a toll on me, on my mental, on my physical, on my spiritual. And this week, wow. So for the check-ins, I already spoke about the artist date. Really loved. It made me so happy. It made me so happy. I was just like, wow. And then hold on, check-in. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. I feel like I did that, but like any other issues that I had this week was having to come to terms with how lonely I am. I feel like I've reiterated that fact so many times, but I realized just how lonely I am. Like I don't have someone that I can like speak to about this. Not that like, okay, well actually, yeah, everyone needs a confidant, but it's just like, wow. Because excuse me, I feel so many emotions. I was feeling so many emotions this week. I feel like it was things that like trickled in from the first week of the course that really just reared their head this week specifically, along with a lot of outside things. Like, when was it? I think it was Thursday night. I went out on a drive with my sister. I could not drive. I couldn't do it. My mind was just so discombobulated. Like I was shifting gears. I was stalling the like I was just like, what is happening? I don't do like I'm confident in my driving at least. You know what I mean? Again, back to that whole thing of last week. Like I'm a pretty confident driver. But I was just like, I literally got out of the car and I was just like, Yasmin, drive. I can't just get in the drive. I cannot do this. We literally got stopped by the police because they're just like, why are you swerving? And I was just like, I'm so sorry, sir. Like, it's just not. I got out of the car and I was just like, Yasmin, take us home. Because I can't do this right now. I can't do this. I can't be bothered, babes. I cannot be bothered. So yeah, week 2 was a lot on my mental. It was a lot on my mental. And, we also had to do this like affirmative reading where it was like the affirmations that you wrote from the first week. Take a look at them. And then the ones that really jump out to you, 3 of them, take those 3 and write them out 5 times each every single day after your morning pages. I will say, now that I'm at the end of the week and I've been doing it, oh yeah. But starting off those negative blurts, because one of them was, I am brilliant. That was it. I Fatu am brilliant. And I was just like, oh, no, you're not. You suck. You're a loser. You don't know how to do this. You'll never be cool enough. Like, who the fuck do you think that you are? I'm exactly who I think I am. Again, I feel like I'm being cocky and stuff like that, but I'm just like, I have such conviction for this. I have such conviction that I'm going to do exactly what I want to do this year. But then that voice in the back of my head is just like, oh, you're being cocky. Tone it the fuck down. Tone it the fuck down. And I want to square up with this bitch so bad. But this bitch is me. I can't fight myself. I just have to, like, don't let the self-doubt persevere. That's really it. Just don't let the self-doubt persevere. But yeah, this week was a lot. And then next week, let's actually just read. So next week, it's recovering a sense of power. This week may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy and sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief. You are coming into your power as the illusory hold of your previously accepted limits is shaken. You will be asked to consciously experiment with spiritual open-mindedness. I'm scared. And I feel like, oh my gosh, neighbors. But I feel like I am getting more and more confident in acknowledging my fears and finding a way to confront them. That is also something that I definitely noticed, especially because last week I had that thing where I was just like, I just have to do it, even if it means doing it scared. Even if it means doing it scared, just do it. And I definitely feel like I'm embodying that as time progresses. So, same time next week. Same time next week, friends. Because, wow. This week was a lot. But I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying learning more about myself. My inner child, she's very whiny, though. She's whiny, she's a brat, she's impulsive. But I'm trying to treat her with care. Feed her. Acknowledge her. Give her the attention that she wants because she didn't get it growing up. Okay? Next week, we are recovering a sense of power. Let's see how it goes.